probably the most unique wrecks in the Thumb area are the automobile ferries James W. Curran and John A. McPhail. The first thing we saw on this exploratory dive was a yawl boat. The boat wasn't needed during the sinking, as the vessels were unmanned while under tow. And there, sitting on the bottom, upright and intact, is one of the car ferries. They are at a depth of about 190 feet. The Curran and McPhail were owned by the Canadian government and carried cars between Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan and Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario in the days before there was a bridge. After the bridge was built, the car ferries were no longer needed. In May of 1964, they were being towed down the lakes to Kingston, Ontario, when they encountered some sort of freak storm, described as a tornado by witnesses. The Curran began to sink, and, being tethered together, took the McPhail with her. The tug Rogers wisely cut them loose and survived the ordeal. Swimming around the stern, we see the rudder and propeller, which seems oddly small for a vessel of this size. The loading ramp at the bow is down, and you can see all along the empty, flat deck back to the stern. Next to the upright car ferry, tow cables lead a short distance to the other ferry, which is upside down. The elevated bridge located amidships acts as a sort of kickstand to hold the wreck up off the bottom. The stern rests on the lake bottom, while the rest of the ship rises at about a 45-degree angle towards the surface. Getting right down to the lake bottom, you can investigate the superstructure, including the wheelhouse. Off to the side, another small boat rests upside down. When investigating this wreck, be careful of the dangling lines and the tow cables. Following the cables back to the upright ferry, we look it over in a little more detail. Visit the undisturbed wheelhouse and swim around the upper structure before returning to the ascent line and starting our journey to the surface. The car ferries are a long ways offshore and are not visited often, but when conditions are right, they make for a really interesting dive. Once again, we pass time decompressing on the ascent line before we can safely return to the surface. Topside, it's pretty relaxing as well. Unfortunately, the divers can't relax with a good book.